You're listening to the Genuine JBH podcast.
Sitting to my left is Mr. Jason Lackey. Sitting to my right is Mr. Will Winter. Hello, guys.
Hello, Brad.
Hello, Brad. What do you want to talk about?
As we get into our summer months, I mean, Will and I, have come up here with our kids and some of our families that we help. It just makes you think about a lot of things, because as we left home, we've got lots of litters on the ground, lots of pigs in the nursery. And, the question arises every day, about shows, about the where we stand with the State Fair of Texas, where we stand with Kansas City, where we stand with Louisville, and then...
And of course, we're talking about the effect that the coronavirus epidemic or pandemic is having on these.
Correct. And, as that goes, I mean, we face different challenges every day, and so this kind of just trickles into the spring as people start having questions arise. And, Will and I were fortunate, this last, or this spring, it's probably something that, anybody would have been willing to do, I guess, because, we're just trying to do it for the betterment of the kids and in our industry in Texas, but we're able to get a show pulled off as the alternative to Houston and Austin. As we think about, the progression moving forward in the shows that we're weaning pigs for, that we're, still a few of us farrowing for, there's a lot of people that ask the question, and fair enough, if these events are going to be able to happen. The thing about what we do for a living, there's a lot of things that we can't control in terms of, Mother Nature and the way that things work on a daily basis. But typically, we're allowed to make decisions that ultimately allow us to, either succeed or not succeed.
Exactly.
And so in times like these, we're sitting in a space to where there are things that, none of us, doesn't matter who it is,
exactly,
have any control over. And so, we just wanted to set people's minds, I guess, more at ease. There's not ever going to be 100% peace to any of this, but we've got all these things that are in people's heads right now. And, the experience for us, and I think Will and I would be on the same page this year. We've been up here, in Iowa, holding over, getting bears ready for 3 days. And, the amount of fun that these kids have had, probably more in the last 45 minutes than in the last 3 days, but the amount of fun that these kids have had has been unbelievable. And so
so you know what he's talking about, the kids that laid over in there are now out in our pool swimming, having a good time. It's extremely hot, extremely sultry, and they're not minding the heat right now at all. But
so as we, as we think about this and what we've been doing the last couple of days, it's a great reminder that, the most fun part of this entire process is the preparation.
Exactly.
It's when these kids get together, go to these shows, and just do what we're doing, at this very moment. And I really think that when people think about the spring and all these shows, that's the part that they are the most afraid to miss out on. And so, and I'm not saying that Will and I have any definitive answers today, but we are fortunate enough to have a lot of conversations with some people that get to make some, fairly important decisions. And in no way are we condoning or saying, that things are going to happen one way or another. But, I think that there are some things in place. There are some conversations that we've had that could at least give these exhibitors and these parents a peace of mind as they move into our show pig buying season.
Will, you've never been one to back down from anything. What do you got to add to this?
No, and to reiterate, Jason said on all this stuff is that, we've been in conversations and meetings with people that make those decisions.
Exactly.
Obviously, there's not a single person that runs a show that wants to cancel.
Exactly.
It all comes above their head. So if there's any way that those people running these shows can have the shows, we're going to have a show.
Yes.
There's still going to be avenues and opportunities to show these things. And if not, there's people and stuff in place that have got the want to make sure that we show pigs, that are going to figure out a way to make sure that these kids get to show their pigs.
Yeah. And that's, people ask me as I travel around filming, and I said, you know what? It's not necessarily about the shows. It's about keeping your sanity by being able to go out every day into that barn and brush and feed and manage your project and use that project as an escape. But inevitably, you put all that time and you put all that effort into, you need rewarded for it. And basically, that's what you guys are saying right here is, man, we're going to try our best. We are contacting everybody that we know at our level. Jason, anything else?
I appreciate it. We almost have a support group, if you will, of people that have the connections, in the state of Texas and across the country that can come through and put these things together if all else fails. So, I mean, the one thing that I want to say is that regardless of what happens, regardless of, where we're at going into the fall, if you have a desire to show an animal in the spring, you are going to be able to show that animal in some place and in some capacity.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it doesn't have to be virtually, but...
No, we need to show them live. I mean, just like the opportunity that these kids have had that playing out there in your pool.
Yep.
I mean, I guarantee you right now, if we went out there and told them that something was to happen, we were going to get shown, they'd be like, well, can we stay here for a couple more days and show our pigs and practice under the trees and go wash them? They just want to still mess with their pigs, and they just want to be with their friends.
Yeah.
Now, we may make a couple other phone calls and bring some more friends down, and we may show, but at the end of the day, these people want to be with their families, they want to be with their friends, and they want to go do what they've been doing. You know, Jason's group's doing their thing, and we're doing ours, and then all the kids will go play together. Man, that's at the end of the day, that's what this whole thing's about, is them kids getting to have fun and having an avenue to meet new people and work with their projects, grow as a family, and just do this thing. And you can't do it if we don't have the stock to do it with, and the stock don't get sold if people don't think they're going to get the show.
Exactly. Jason, what do you got to say?
Yeah, and honestly, the one thing that maybe I didn't touch on earlier, that, you know, this really has nothing to do with Will and I. I mean, this is, everyone has the guy that they go to, and that's what makes this whole business go around. So, you know, every breeder, you know, that we've talked to in the state of Texas, I mean, we all have the same goal. We all want these kids to be able to show their projects in the spring. So, you know, if you have any questions at all, I mean, you know, the guys that help you, the guys you go to the shows with, I mean, they're going to have, you know, a few people that they can reach out to have, you know, a few answers for you. So just stay in contact with them. But we want everyone to have, you know, an optimistic outlook and just be looking
a positive outlook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And be looking forward to this like we are.
I mean, everybody, like Jason said, everybody that you buy a pig from's got access to know somebody that knows somebody that can get in contact with somebody.
It's not about Will Winter. It's not about Jason Lackey, and it's certainly not about Brad Hook. It's just about us as an industry, us as a complete livestock industry, not only swine industry. Just grabbing our bootstraps and pulling them on and ready to go.
And you know, the one mentor of Will and I's, the one quote that I'll never forget. Right before I turned 20, Jerry Hawkins, that was at Clarendon. He used to tell us all the time. He said, if it's something that really, really affects your life in 10 years, then it's something that catastrophic that you went through. Mm-hmm. And financially, obviously, there's some people that it's going to take a toll on, but emotionally, you know, as long as all of our families stay healthy, we're doing what we love every day. In 10 years, you know, we'll rebound as a nation and as an industry.
Yeah, and I look forward to that day that we kind of joke about 2020 and how stupid it was and how rough it was. But the fact of the matter is, we're still in it, and it's still there. And you boys from Texas right now are actually getting a bigger taste of it than you ever have down there, unfortunately. And
it's I mean, who knows what's right or wrong on how these guys handle it? I mean, everybody's got their own little platform that they think matter, and their opinions really don't matter at the end of the day.
No, it doesn't,
because everybody's still got to operate under the same regulations and the same rules. And if your government officials put something in place, that's what you got to go with. So we just gotta ride it out. It's going to be fine. We just got to get through it, and then we'll all be. I have no doubt that we as an industry and families and kids will all be stronger at the end of this.
We'll kind of keep you up to speed as things progress.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
You bet.
You're listening to the Genuine JBH podcast.